Hello, everybody. This is Joel Medina. This is my weekly outlook for gold and GBP, JPY. This is Forex analysis. Let's start with gold. Gold closed in a really interesting way because it closed still bearish, but it didn't break the structure with the closure, right? It did break the levels down to here and then grab liquidity at 1785, which many of you notice I bought that level. I'm still, I still have buys from there, but the closure is still, bearish at this moment. The structure though is bullish, so that's the interesting part, right? Monthly structure still bullish, no question about it. Look at the closure, and it was above this level, right? Now, the weekly closure was bearish. And not only the weekly, the structure is bearish. Everything about it is bearish. So, we don't have to guess. We just have to kind of like look where price wants to go and take our, well, I guess that is guessing, right? But with the probabilities on our side, it would be better to sell. Quite clear, right? Because looking at the structure, everything is pointing towards sales. We have this liquidity. At this moment, this still looks like like a wick fill that could happen here, but also the structure. Look, it closed below the previous closures at 1810. So the bears are still in favor here. The weekly still bearish, right? The daily still bearish. Even the daily closed below this, right? Look at this. Even the daily structure created the closures below here. Now, actually everything. Look, even from last week, break higher low, and this is the whole impulse and close below here. So we're still bearish even within the daily structure. And yeah, so we have to keep that in mind. Now, I think I can reveal now this. Yeah, this was my entry. This is my. I still have this one running. I took profits here, obviously, because this is a major zone at around 1808 or 1808, around there. And this is at break even at this moment, safely. And yeah, let's see. So if for whatever reason gold wants to flip from here, keep in mind I don't have any confirmation that we're still gonna flip from here. This is a one top. This could be considered another one, but that was far away. This already happened in the middle. I wouldn't consider that like a good confirmation to flip, to be honest. I do love to buy strong levels and zones like this one, just in case. That's how I swing it, and I just keep it open just in case, because you really never know. But also, the better sales, if you notice, price has been respecting this downtrend too, and has been aggressively looking for liquidity before the falls or before the movement. So it would be interesting if we see gold for whatever reason coming all the way up to here to around 1822, 1820, and from there reject. It really depends on what time is going, like what session is this happening, like if this is happening during London or New York by the time I wake up. Because if that happens during a high volume session and you're like, let's say around down here or whatever, and you see price moving fast, really fast against here, and suddenly on the lower time frame you see rejections against this zone or this zone here, you could actually sell that, because the probabilities for that rejection and for the continuation coming down are there still. Okay, so simple. Bears are still in control, right? Quite clear. There's no question about it. Now, I would actually flip my bias if I see this baby here being broken, like 1830-ish area, that 1830 area here, really important for me. If I see this any daily closing above 1830, I would actually start to significantly look for buys. To be honest, I would right away look for buys, I think. If I see a closure above here, for sure. And if I see a closure above here on the daily any day, I would actually either, you know, look for buys from here. I mean, from here would be the best place to look for. I mean, you can see it here now that I notice it. Same place, right? From here, which is 1822, around 1822, 1820. So I would actually, if I see a closure of the daily above here, I would look for buys around this area to continue going up. Or if I see like another rejection happening from the structure with the daily from down here, even here it's okay. But you know, I would actually expect price maybe to revisit here, which would be better. Most likely, if that happens, would give like a better setup if this really wants to flip from here, because all of this is just me saying if this were to continue the monthly bullish trend or the structure, right? There's also the probability of this not holding and this breaking. Now that probability is still a little low, I'm not gonna lie, because we only had one tap from a major area, I mean into the major area at 1787, you know, around there. It's actually 1785. So we only have one tap. It would be really weird if I see this just breaking below this in a straight line and just coming down to 1765. It would be really weird, just technically speaking. Look left, like for price to move from there to down here, it really does a bunch of stuff before it does that. So it wouldn't make sense to me. I'm still, you know, like I said, I'm in bias, so it would be perfect for me if this never comes here ever again and this just continue going up. But I would still say that sales are still favorable, and that's the fact of it. So you know, there's no. So short-term sales definitely better. Everything is sales. Everything, the whole structure is sales. For me to really go hard into buys above 1830 would be the best area to start doing that, or another rejection from down here and flipping closing above 1800s would be maybe another good confirmation to look for the flipping of the weekly and continuation of the monthly. That's it. That's with gold. So I think that's clear. So all scenarios covered. Main bias is bearish. In the lookout for potentials flip of structure to continue the bullish on the monthly. We still don't have that confirmation on the higher time frame, but as you know, I have my buy there just in case. Okay, so and the entry, I mean, I shared this with pretty much all the groups, but if you want to look for it, it was a buy zone. I mean, it was as simple as that for me. Now if you want to look for confirmation on the lower time frames, there you go. 1, 2. You have 1, 2 confirmation from the major zone during a high volume session, which is 8:20, 8 a.m., which is New York Open 8:20. And look at this. You have another 5-minute candle with a big wick looking down and then closing above the previous structure. 1, 2, 3 officially. And you could buy here. You could buy at the closure of this one. Whatever, anytime you can back test that or figure out your own entries on the lower time frames. I'm just saying the zone was meant to be bought. That's how I saw it from the beginning. That's why I bought it. Now the GJ is similar to gold in many ways. The difference is that GJ is not in the middle of a correction of the monthly structure. It's actually in the middle of the impulse of the bullish structure, monthly bullish structure. So we do have we're still respecting the monthly on the lower below the previous candle. Now the weekly though still bullish, right? The closures were happening above this, so I would actually expect it would be perfect, obviously, if we see GJ coming again to 161.600 or down here 161 flat, and from here then grabbing better entry to the continuation of the buys. That would make sense in terms of structure, meaning that short term this still looks like sales, even though we are in this sense we're actually in this part here, we're actually in the middle of a correction of the bearish of the bullish structure of the weekly, meaning the daily and below we are bearish. Look at this. We had lower high, lower high, lower low, lower high, and now this here was a break of structure, and now we're, you know, kind of like rejecting from this major zone. Down here we have a zone. Yes, we do. This is 161.500. Look at this beautiful rejection. It wouldn't make sense for GJ to actually look tapped. We just tapped into 64. This is just today as I'm recording, and we're already kind of like looking downwards. So that would make sense for GJ to continue the bearish pressure, come all the way down here to 162.500. And even better if we come all the way down to here again, and then from here maybe look for the buy entry opportunities. Yeah. But my point is, this is sales. Like short term, this sales are still in favor. Like structure, everybody from daily and below is everything sales. Look, daily break of structure, continuation sales still, bearish pressure, 4 hours still bearish. Not even this little thing, but this is the impulse of the bearish. This is the bearish impulse. But even if you wanted to consider this like a you know, support resistance, which it's not because it's just one candle, it's still, this one hasn't been broken. So there's nice pressure here pushing downwards. So sales in favor for the short term, for scalps, for everybody. What is this? Look, the 1 hour closure. Wow, that's looking really interesting for sales. But this is Asia. I'm not gonna trade Asia. And yeah, better sales. Honestly, if by London you see anything pushing all the way up here, you see this, we already had like a small, yeah, this is almost 9 a.m. Eastern. Yeah, like if you see London pushing, and you see London the candle that closes at 3 a.m. If you, for whatever reason, you see the candle that closes at 2 a.m. creating like a wick above this, yeah, a wick above this. If this comes down here and you see the London candle again closing with a bigger wick than this, but closing the body below here, I would actually anticipate that from there we're gonna fall. I mean, I've seen that so many times. I'm just saying one scenario that could happen. Anyways, GJ still sells is all I'm saying. In the short term, we just like gold, we don't have the confirmation to flip for the continuation of the upward structure on the weekly or monthly. The lower time frames are still bearish, so sell from here would be better, especially from 164.250. That would be really nice to sell from there. But if you look up, look at this zone. This is a nice, really strong zone. From there would be even better, 164.680. Just not sure that, yeah, I just tapped once and rejected once a long time ago. It seems to be holding intermediate, the intermediate zone seems to be around here. So yeah, any rejection from here should be like a nice setup for the sales. But if I were looking for continuations of sales, it's obvious, right? Like below 161.500, anything that you grab from here to sell, you could actually leave it open just in case and see if this is gonna hold or not, because if this doesn't hold, that would be a nice prompt to fall even lower to 160 for sure. I mean, really high probability of that. But this is an inflection zone, all of this, so keep that in mind on the higher time frame. From here is where it would make sense to flip and continue the higher time frame bulls, so just keep that in mind. And for the bulls, I mean, I think it kind of obvious too, right? Like 164.680 would be my area to look for, and to be more precise, it would be around 164.800. 164.800 would be my area from where, like, if we don't have a confirmation down here to flip, then anything that breaks and closes above here could be just looking for buys. But you can look actually for buys if you see a structure rejecting like double bottoms from here and stuff. It should be nice buys, entries, to be honest. But that said, I really hope you guys enjoyed this outlook. This is yeah, many people are asking me when I'm gonna start again streaming. The month has been a little bit rough, haven't been able to do that, but just subscribe and activate the notifications just in case, because if I ever go live streaming to trade live, it would be around 9 a.m. Eastern time, and that way you're gonna get the notification. If you like this anyways, give it a like and have a great, wonderful week. Take care. See you next time.